Happy Self-Care September. I'm Blythe Stevens. I'm the creator of A Blythe Coach, where I help multifaceted creatives take leaps of faith. And Self-Care September is important to me because there are many practices in my own life that help support me physically, mentally, emotionally, and creatively that provide me so much energy and positivity that I want to pass them along also to my students of all ages and my community. So along those lines, one of the most important self-care practices that I have for myself physically is physical therapy of all kinds. So I've crafted my own with help of physical therapists and teachers and coaches along the way, practices that do positive things for me, that make me feel good, that help me function as a dancer, as a creative person, as a teacher, and as a coach, and may or may not work for your own practice. So my encouragement and invitation to you is to take what works for you, explore different modalities, consult with different sorts of professionals that you feel drawn to, and if what works also seems to do you right, then continue with those practices, and if not, leave them and find what works the best for you. So in that spirit, try things out gently, slowly, mindfully, and if you have a sense that your body is not loving that, then leave it either forever or for today, and or find a different variation. So I often try to provide some different options so that if there's something similar that might feel good or better for different sorts of people on different days, then we have that option to pick from the menu. So the first thing I like to do related to certain yoga practices as well as Qigong is take gentle circles. So in my own practice, one of the ways that helps me start off warming up the body and getting mobility in the joints is to take some slow and exploratory circles. So I'll start one end of the body or the other or in the middle, either with the shoulders, circling the head and neck, taking my time, maybe simultaneously wrists or feet, either in a seated position or in standing or even reclining on the floor. In standing, I might have a bit better access to doing some lower back and hip circles, but I can do rib circles, great in standing or seated. And I can take them as small or as large as feels right on that day, sort of noting where feels free and easy moving, where might feel a little bit more stuck, need some attention, some awareness. And motion is lotion, they say, so providing some lubrication and some movement will help get things moving in our whole body, wake us up, relax us, balance things out. Those foot circles I could take sort of freestanding or seated in the air, or gently providing pressure against the floor for a self-massage. And the same thing with the hands. I can take them free in the air or massage them against one another against the floor or a wall. So I can do a practice with or without equipment, and sometimes, some days, I'll use more equipment than others, but when I have access to it at home, I do love to use yoga blocks, a foam roller, which this could be funny because it does squeak as I roll on it, also a massage ball, and a towel or a yoga blanket, bolster or pillows on some days. So I do love my tools, but also can provide a self-massage, a warm-up, and a stretch without, when desired. Before I get down, I may choose to roll my foot onto the roller as well, big or small, more firm or soft. The interior plastic cylinder seems to have a squeaky bit, so. And then my circles may come to a different level. So I've got this foam roller here to massage and support me, but I might also have a different sort of prop or nothing at all. I can take some circles in the ribs, cat and cow, for example, very often the beginning of my warm up or whenever I'm starting my day. Or even some bigger, it's a test of this new equipment. So I can take a child's pose and move forward and back to a sort of an upward facing dog, or spiraling circles. Again, like I said, in the rib cage and the hips, maybe even using the head. So we're mobilizing through the whole spine, every side of the body. Or if it's more appropriate, I can take these sorts of spiraling circles in a seated position or lying down. And then I find that some lunges or the equivalent in a reclining position or a seated position, which would be namely deeply bending one leg and then switching. Then we have an upside down lunging shape, and we can relax our head and neck onto the floor, or we can take a weight bearing in the hands and legs, sort of a lunge, and I'll just have my roller there so that as, another way I stretch my calves and lower legs here. Love to teach that in my bar chair stretch and strength classes too, these complementary stretches and strengthening shapes. And then I'll bring or step my leg forward. I can take a nice low sort of a lunge, or in more active days and situations, if I want to take a balance, I can lift up the knee and get a similar stretch in the hip, but also be using the strength of my whole body to support me. As a warm-up though, usually I'll keep my lunges low. And you might consider taking your time and pausing in one of the ending shapes. If I've got a roller here, I can roll my calves. And breathing, very aware of the sensations in the body. Or you can sort of flow actively along with the breath forward and back. In yoga, this is like a variation of an Ajna Asana, and then a half Hanumanasana or half split pose, runner's lunge in the back. Love to take some shifts of the hips side to side here as well. Stretching out the lower back, the hips, and really everything. It's all connected. And of course, anything I take on one side, I'll return the favor on the second side. This is also some core work here. I'm doing a planking variation. As I stretch, lifting up through the belly to support the action, not dumping weight into my shoulders or wrists or knee. If you've got sensitive knees, definitely take variations that are appropriate for you for that. And here's another place where blocks might be fun, useful, or some sort of support. Even a chair beside us can help adjust, lift or lower the shape. So any warm up is certainly, in an ideal situation, activating the body as well as the mind. So becoming aware of our movements and the state of our body and mind today and in this moment, and then also taking care. So in our own practice, we can give some massage, give some movement, some mobility, some strengthening, some stretching, some relaxing, whatever is called for, so that we are providing self-care and can then go on to care for others, care about others, engage with the world effectively in whatever pursuits we're involved in. Another place to twist would be lunge. For my body, I love doing some twists and lunge. It really helps ease through the whole back, the lower back especially. But everyone's got their spots. And then check in from time to time and see, how did that movement help out? What else do I need? What do I have time for? Sometimes we need just a little bite-sized movement snack. Some days we can indulge in a longer practice. More squeaky foam roller now. A couple of the things that I know for me, the current state of my body that I know I need on a weekly basis are physical therapy of this kind, at least a couple of sessions of rolling, self-massage, stretching, a couple sessions of therapy and work-specific exercises for strengthening, yoga and qigong practices, meditation and relaxation. And all of my self-care practices tend to overlap. Physical, mental, creative, spiritual. It's, of course, all related. We do not have full control over our physical health, but what we can influence, we want to do so. And then we're able to pursue the other areas. So starting with physical well-being, rest and nutrition, managing stress, wherever we're able, creating a physical environment that supports us. And then we can address learning and growth. Personal and professional development, relationship, etc. So the roller I can use, especially on my large muscle groups of the upper thighs, the upper leg, the calves. I find it really great for the hip muscles, especially after ballet, using the little turnout muscles and things like that, the whole seat muscles. Tends to get very tight. Hips from dancing, I find, and then also sitting. And the whole length of the spine and the shoulder area as well. So loud. So it might feel good to roll really actively back and forth. Or to spend some more time in an area. Hanging out and breathing. Supporting the body parts that might be suspended or hanging down towards the floor as appropriate. Feels nice on the neck and head, as well as a block or a roller underneath the hips. Can be a nice place for a legs up the wall pose, for that lunging or half split sort of a shape. For candlestick leg pose or plow pose, even actual full split. A supported bridge shape. With a long roller in the studio, I like to orient it in this direction, supporting the whole length of the spine and massage and roll side to side there. With this length of roller, I can get some side to side motion for between the shoulder blades, which is lovely. And then some days I'll take a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball could also work, and work on this between the shoulder blades and the neck. And I also like to get the sides of the shoulders, the latissimus muscles, and chest muscles. And then I certainly might have other training and exercises later in the day, other stretches. But with those gentle circles, some rolling and self-massage movements, I'm able to tune in to address areas of tension and stress, to provide deep self-care and awareness to myself and support everything else that I'm up to. So I hope you found that helpful. Maybe you played along or you've got some ideas of a couple of things you'd like to try out today to take exquisite care of yourself. Let me know what they might be, and I'll see you again soon.